The next thing is about menstruation. Again, I have some dear friends who say, Baba ko sab chalta hai, it's okay with Baba. Just because Baba said that he does not approve of fasting doesn't mean that anything is okay with Baba. Baba was rather strict. He was rather strict in doing Shraddh. He was rather strict in Suttak, which is the period after the death of a person or birth of a baby. He was strict in menstruation and being in a state of purity. I'm not saying that you're impure if you have menstruation, but if we go back into history, we find that there are many temples in which, for instance, the Kamakhya temple in Guwahati, Assam, that is where the uterus of Sati fell. There, once a year, they close the temple when she has a period for 3 days. This is the goddess whose uterus is there, whose uterus is being worshipped. There, the temple is closed for 3 days, and they have a strict rules about it. When one can follow the rules there, is it okay to go to your Sadguru like that? The second place is in Odisha. Again, once a year, they have a festival called the Raja Festival, in which the earth is not tilled for 3 days. And after that, it's said that the Mother Earth or Dharti Ma has her periods and they water it after the 3rd day. Like we have a bath on the 4th day after we've finished after our periods are over, we have a head bath and then only do we go into the kitchen and cook food or do we go to a temple. Even cooking food is not approved of by the Shastras. The energy that you transmit during that time is negative energy and you're feeding your children and your husband with negative energy. So that is why they ask. That is why they ask you to take rest for 3 days. You don't do any household duties. Somebody else does it for you. You rest quietly in your place and you don't go to the temple. You don't even cook food. You don't touch the idols of your place of worship either. In chapter 32 of the Satcharita, there is the story of Mrs Gokhale. She came to Shirdi and she decided to fast for 3 days. Baba, however, sends her to Dada Kelkar's house and says, cook for the family, so you eat yourself and feed the family, because Mrs Kelkar, Dada Kelkar's wife, was in her periods. It would have been very easy for Baba to break the fast of Mrs Gokhale right there in the Dwarkamai. Food was abundant there. Every devotee came bearing food and sweets and nice things for Baba. He could have easily given her a piece of barfi or laddu and broken the fast. Yet he says, go there and do the cooking because she's having her periods. Baba has unique ways of teaching us. The Charit is not a book to be read. It is a book to be lived by. These gems, these pearls, one has to search for themselves and inculcate it into your life. He didn't give a big lecture on menstruation, but that is enough for us to know that we use it. Also, like when we say, he told Shama to read the Vishnu Sahasranam. He didn't tell the general people to do it. But because when we read the Vishnu Sahasranam or recite the Vishnu Sahasranam or do japa, then we get all our materialistic things. So that we are willing to follow. But this we are not willing to follow. We are willing to not fast because that is okay for us. But other things are not okay. He also said to Hemad Pant specifically, he didn't tell the whole world. When the gram was found in his coat, he said, do you remember me when you're alone? Do you offer food to me? And what do? We take it as a pearl. and we offer food or whatever goes into our mouth to Baba every time. He didn't tell us to do it. So same way he didn't tell us about the periods. So that is a pearl that we take, or fasting. That is what we use in our own lives. In Shripad Shri Vallabh Charitra, in chapter 32, I think, there is Shripad Shri Vallabh says about the moon and the sun, how the sun is Tejas and the moon is the mind, and when they get together, reproduction happens. There he also talks about Lord Indra. Lord Indra was punished because he killed a demon called Vatasur. That demon happened to be a Brahmin. And because of that, Brahmahatya, the crime that he committed. So he had to bear the punishment. So the rest of the gods say he killed the Asura for us because they were harming us, or they were fighting with us. We had battles with that Asura. So he did us a favor and killed that. So why should he bear the punishment? So then he says, okay, let us divide the punishments. So many things came forward. Like the earth took up part of the punishment. And so we have deserts over the world. The trees took up punishments, and there is fall in which it does not fruit, there's no flowering, and the leaves are just stagnant. It waits till spring to flower or get new leaves. The sea or the ponds took up a part of it in which there is algae or the green growth that is at the end of the pond. And women came forth and said that we'll take up menstruation. The gods were so sympathetic to the women. They said, would you really do that? It is physical problem for you. Some people have excruciating pain during periods, and some people throw up a lot, and it's uncomfortable. Would you do that really? So because of that, you can have rest for 3 days. In those days, a woman had to look after a joint family in which there were 13, 14 members, and she had to cook and do all the work for them, and it was not easy. At that time, there were no mixers, no grinders. She had to grind the thing, and it was really hard labor. So for those 3 days, you shall be fed. You will be sitting comfortably somewhere, and somebody will bring food to you, and you don't have to do any of that. So this was the reason why women are asked to stay away from the kitchen and also go to the temple. In Shripad Shri Vallabh, he talks about the importance of women and this particular time of their lives. He asks them to rest, and he does not say it is negative energy as such that is there in that person, but the body, because of hormonal changes, needs rest. This is a prelude to the woman becoming fertile. After that, she ovulates, and then she is able to bear children. Without children, the world is hardly going to be there. And the same thing with the trees and the water and things like that. If you don't have the trees and the plants, then you cannot have food to eat, and then water you need to drink and to keep yourself clean, and so on and so forth. The whole thing is about reproduction. It's reproduction in nature and reproduction in the society as far as a man and a woman are concerned. This is not something to be looked down upon by society or by the family. they want that woman to have rest during a period where the hormones are going up and down. She may be having pain in her uterus, or she may be throwing up. They want her to rest so that she, in her fertile period, is active and has children. So having a menstrual cycle is to propagate children. So the world goes on. In some cultures in South India, the woman is said to be put out of doors. Out of doors. They call it Vitakaduram, that is, the person is to be outside. And they won't touch that person. It is not that. It is a time where she needs rest. She needs to be nurtured. Nurtured not by picking her, coddling her, mollycoddling her, or whatever. It is that they give food to her. Otherwise, she has all the household duties to do. That one woman has to grind the wheat, and she has to wash the clothes, and she has to look after the children. She has to do 120 things in a day. At that time, she's given rest. Somebody else does the work for her. So she doesn't have that problem. It is not unclean. Yes, the blood flows down, but it has to have an outlet to go. And because the uterus is situated in such a place, that is why the flow of the blood is down. The blood is not coming from the nose or something that it would go that way. It is actually, in some cultures, they celebrate the first period of a woman, that she's come into womanhood, and she is going to produce, and continuation of the name of the clan or continuation of the tribe will go on because of her. So having periods is celebrated. It is not something that one should think that it is dirty or something like that. There is no difference between the blood that comes out of your nose, if you have a nosebleed, and the blood that comes out of your during your periods. When one goes to the temple, when there is a kalash, then the energy goes upward. A woman who is menstruating, everything comes down. Now you can't have an upward energy and a downward energy be together. It is harmful not to the idol. It is not harmful to the deity. It is harmful to that person, because they're two poles apart that are coming together. And she can have problems with her uterus. Either the uterus is pulled up, or there'll be pain for her, and it'll be quite uncomfortable. So it is detrimental for herself, for her, upon her own body, to go into the temple when she's menstruating. The other thing is, when we haven't had a bath, or we are in menstruation, would we want to go to the Samadhi Mandir and put our head on Baba's feet? It is just respect for your Guru. So that is something that people should think of and then decide for themselves. So as far as Baba was concerned, he does not give a big lecture upon menstruation, but he tells Mrs Gokhale to go and cook and to feed the family. So that is enough for us to know that we should not be cooking, nor should we go to a holy place, because Anna is Brahma. When you feed, you're transferring negative energy to your children and to your family. Who would want negative energy to go to their loved ones? And as I said, there is upward and downward movement. So energy is passed like that. So that is something that I would ask. When we can pick out other pearls that are convenient to us and do it, like reciting the Vishnu Sahasranam, doing Nam Jap, feeding, offering food to Baba, then why should we not do this when he tells Mrs Gokhale? So I would ask you all to read the Charitra, think about it, and then decide for yourself. Saira.